Is it like when you play? I mean, you play that song a lot now. Part of your show.
Yeah, part of the show. Every night.
Every night. Does it have the same meaning for you every time you play that song?
We're really careful with that song. We don't rehearse it ever, the band and I, because we don't ever want it to feel less scary and real for us. So at night, it really just depends on the room. It never loses its power.
Yeah.
But each room has its own vibe, each crowd has its own vibe, so it feels very different playing it in an amphitheater than it does, at T-Mobile Arena, say, opening for George Strait.
Right.
That's another wow. And every time we go back to the Opry, if we go to the Opry and happen to play it, that's still another wow. That never gets old. And we wrote the song with dreams of playing the Opry. And so that certainly never gets old.
Yeah. But with it being such an emotional song for you and your life story and stuff like that, I've always wondered about that with artists who have those songs that mean that much to them, and the ability to be able to perform that song and for it to still remain special to you.
Yeah, you just have to be careful with it and treat it like the little piece of magic that it is.
Yeah.
It chose you, to be written through, and then you just really got to respect, that idea got to be on paper with you.
You mentioned George Strait.
Yeah. Nicest guy ever.
Wow.
Is he?
Yeah, great handshake too. You want to take a selfie with my hand later? I've definitely shook his hand and done some Cody-Go with him. Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah, so it's not just a thing he pitches, he drinks it too.
No, yeah. So right after the last song, right before the encore, you can walk into this little curtained hallway, and there are people holding trays of Cody-Go, and he and the band.
Yeah.
And his beautiful wife Norma, they come out and they serve you, and there's not a bunch of people back there. It's like their team, and then they had me, they had Dana and I actually go back there this last time.
Oh wow!
To take a shot of Cody-Go with George Strait.
What have you had a chance? I mean, opening up for him and stuff like that. But I know he kind of is a private guy for the most part.
He is a private guy.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to spend a decent amount of time with him? Is he?
The only 2 times I've got to spend time with him was that moment between last song and encore. But it's almost better that way. Not because I think I'd be disappointed in him, but because I can't really form sentences when he's around. Because he's so handsome, and his handshake is so great, and his smile is so genuine. And the first time, he rearranged his hat on his head, and then he walked up to me, shook his hand, introduced himself, and said, "You're really kicking butt out there, aren't you, kid?" He didn't say butt. And then the second time I saw him, he said, I can't remember what he said, but he was like, oh, you're rocking it again, aren't you? And I was just like, these things, my brain goes, does not compute. So I'm glad that he's not like, you want to go sit and have a coffee in a little while? Because I wouldn't know what to say.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, like, if you've had a chance to talk with him about your career in music and stuff, and if he, has offered any sort of advice to you or anything like that.
He hasn't, but several other artists have. Garth Brooks has been really nice to me.
Yeah, he's such a good dude.
He's a really nice guy. Terry Clark is always available to me. I can text her at 3 o'clock in the morning with a question.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
always
she really
answers.
is.
And of course, Miranda.
Yeah.
Is super. She's the most approachable human being in the world.
I mean, it's got to be very different going out on tour with George versus going out on tour with Miranda. I mean, what's the difference? Like, it's probably like night and day, I would expect.
It is. Well, and those guys have been doing this at this level for so long. All you have to do is put a quarter in the machine and watch it work. And and there's and I don't want to say that there's not an element of fun. There is, but the level of respect is so high that we're really, really on our best behavior pins and needles. And with Miranda, it's not like there's a party all the time, but it is a very friendly, kind of anything goes until something goes wrong atmosphere. The last time I played a show with her, it was me, her, and John Party, and her gift to us, which is nice of her to do to begin with, she got me a dinosaur onesie and got him a teddy bear onesie. Bought a Cody-Go from George Strait, dinosaur onesie from Miranda.
Well, yeah,
My
tequila and onesies,
awesome.
they go together at some point.
You know what? Maybe I'm going to start a podcast. Tequila in onesies.
There you go.
Yes.
I like it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I can do the onesie thing. I know that's a thing now, but
You should
try.
try.
They're super comfy, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm jealous.
Your feet get hot.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not. I can't wear socks to bed. Like I can't do that.
No, who does that?
I know.
Psychopaths.
My wife does because she's
I didn't mean to say anything bad about your wife, but that's psychotic behavior.
No, but she's constantly cold. Like
Okay.
it could be 90
They're those
degrees
people.
outside and she's freezing.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're actually. I feel like you're going to be in the Carolinas quite a bit because you are.
I
You're
am.
here tonight. You're going to be back in November with Miranda.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I feel like there's another, or maybe we're wishful thinking that there was another date or something.
Well, I think the first 2 years we didn't get to come to the Carolinas nearly enough. So I'm really happy that this year, next year, it gets to kind of move back this direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's planned for 2020? What you got going on?
There's so much going on. The record comes out, of course.
Yeah.
There's a tour. I wish I could tell you what it is, but it doesn't announce for a while. So, but that's going to be fun.
Like a big tour?
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun to be on. And you know, these tonight is our last 2 shows with Little Big Town.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we'll get to work with them again next year.
Yeah. So I mean, you're on all these different tours and stuff, and I'm sure. I mean, George Strait's going to be one experience. Little Big Town's going to be a different experience.
Yep.
Miranda's going to be a different experience. Like what are you pulling from all this?
Tons of stuff. There's tons of voice memos on my phone.
Yeah.
Writing things down every chance you get, and also just going, okay, mental note, don't do that right before a show. It's like, Little Big Town takes.
What is number 1 on that list of not to do before the
don't
show?
eat lobster.
Before a show?
I love seafood, and we were in this amazing place in Maine, and Little Big Town, their catering is nutrition centric. So they really want you to have fuel to do a show on, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And they did this whole thing. There was crab legs and lobster, and they cracked the whole thing open for you. And I was just like, I gotta eat shrimp. And because catering closes about the time we get on stage. You gotta eat right then.
Right.
I don't like to eat before a show anyway because I kind of run around. And but I was just like, I'm gonna eat this entire huge lobster, and I did, and I just felt like I'd eaten a bowling ball. I was like, I hope we brought bigger pants. Is it kosher to do a show in yoga pants or no?
It's like walk on stage, you're like, I gotta unbutton this. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Well, who was Dan from Dan and Shay is wearing shorts on stage now.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, he's broken he's just committed. He's wearing shorts.
Yep.
That's the
Okay.
thing now. Yeah.
Well, chances are somebody gave him crap about it. Then he was like, well, now I have to do
Now I
it.
do it, yeah.
That's what I do.
Nice.
So are you writing and writing with Little Big Town with Miranda?
I've written.
I'm going to say no with George Strait. Not writing with him.
Yeah, like George ever needs me to write a word down for him. I've written with Miranda, which has been great. In fact, Brandy Clark has 2 cuts with me on my new record. So the rights have been. You know the coolest dude I think I've ever written with? Ray Wiley Hubbard.
Really?
Do you know the song Snake Farm? Oh, your life's gonna change today. Everybody look it up. Snake Farm just sounds nasty. Snake Farm pretty much is.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
I'm not a fan of snakes, so the likelihood of me having heard that song
I
is
know.
probably something nuts.
Yeah,
so.
no. Copperhead Road is about as far as I go with
Yeah.
snakes.
There you go.
That's about as far as I can deal with a snake. But
Did you talk about tattoos yet? I had to.
no, I was
slip
gonna
away
say.
there for a second.
So I gotta ask.
Yeah, I'm against tattoos.
No, I can tell. Absolutely. I have to ask.
Yes.
Your eagle.
Yes.
So what inspired that? And how long did that take? Cause that's a commitment.
The
girl.
first session, the outlining session was 3 hours, and then shading and coloring was 3.5.
I mean, it's amazing.
So
I've
I
seen
waited
it on
2 weeks
stage.
in between. And so everything that you can see is just a roadmap of what's now 36 years. So some of them are people and some of them are songs or events in my life. And when it came time to do red carpet events, I'm terrible. I don't sparkle, I don't shine. I don't know, I'm not very good walking in heels.
Well, you got to do you. You got to be
I don't
you.
like putting
absolutely.
lip stuff on, and so I went to my tattoo artist because also I use traditional style tattoos for a reason, because as sailors went so many miles, they would get to the first thing they would get is a nautical star, and after they'd been so many more miles, they would get a sparrow. And so I started with sparrows on the backs of my arms, and then so instead of using only the traditional things like a pirate ship and all that, I started asking, what of these milestones would make a great tattoo. And then I went to my tattoo artist and I said, I'm about to do the thing where we have to walk the red carpets and all that stuff. It's coming right up here in the next 6 months. Is there anything that you could put on me that would make me feel better about it? And she said, if you walked into a bar and saw a sailor with an eagle across his chest, you would know not to mess with that dude. And I was like, okay, so when you think I've earned an eagle, she said, I think you've earned an eagle at this point. So we slapped it on there, and what do you know? I feel a lot better walking down the red carpet.
That's all. What was the first tattoo you got?
Oh, it's amazing. It's this is a location and not a lifestyle choice. It is a tramp stamp, and it is a fat baby devil in a red bikini.
And was that just that looks cool, let's slap it
That
on?
was, I'm 18, I'm going to get a tattoo, I don't care what anybody says, right before an Arkansas State football game, which is a terrible time to get a tattoo. I was in the marching band, so we're in those bibbers, and it was all sweaty. Yeah, but it really has held up all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly.
So
it would disappear.
at what point did the tattoos become a storytelling of of your life and stuff versus just, hey, that looks badass, let's put that on.
Yeah, that one was just sort of, I want this, and then I started getting words different places as reminders, and I'd met this tattoo artist that now does all of my stuff in Little Rock, and was there with another friend who was getting tattooed, and the tattoo artist and I were just chit-chatting, and I said, you know, I was 22 or 23 when I moved to Nashville, and I didn't know anybody, and it was like letting somebody shoot an apple off your head. I was terrified, but I just had to be brave. So she drew this, which is a girl with a blindfold that says "Be brave" with an apple on top of her head, and put it on my arm. And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a thing." Because then I've got my dad on one arm, I got my stepdad on the other. Yeah, so it just became a thing. And it was years ago. I can't even remember what year all of the tattoos started to creep out of my sleeves of my T-shirt.
Well, but I have to tell you, the CBS interview that you did talking about your dad, I brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. But I love that you want to inspire. And why is it important to inspire other people? Because, you know.
Yeah, because somebody's not getting the support.
You may not have it.
Somebody's getting told no so much that they're going to start believing it. And I mean, I did. I'm guilty of it still, of believing it. That little tiny voice that tells you, that reminds you that everybody thinks you can't do it. So I really do think it is important to remind folks you can do whatever the heck you want. Anything is within walking distance if you want to walk far enough.
Yeah. People on the outside would see you and go, what does she have to feel bad about, but people don't know what's going on behind the scenes and whatnot. So, even though you've got all this success happening right now, and you have a moment where you're just like, man, I just don't know, I'm just not feeling good about myself today.
Yeah.
Where do you go to pull yourself out of that?
I had a really big co-write yesterday or day before, and these women that I'm about to sit in the room with are monster writers, and I'm so excited that I get to write with them. And then I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, had an anxiety attack, didn't know what to do. My unworthy button got pushed. What if I get in there and I don't have any words? What if I don't have any ideas? And something said, go sit down right now and play your guitar. So I just grabbed my guitar and sat in the dark on the couch and played, and sure enough, we wound up using what I made up that morning as our song that day. So for me, playing guitar has always been therapy. Also, this is going to sound strange because you can look at me and understand I've never played a sport in any kind of way. I've never been on a sports team. Soccer.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have no emotional attachment to it. So you kick me a soccer ball, I kind of blank out. And I kick it back. Make it go where I want it to go.
Huh.
Yeah. We've tried wiffle ball this year.
See, wiffle ball I can get behind.
Yeah.
Soccer is too much running.
They have
Well,
wiffle ball tournaments and stuff.
Oh yeah, well,
I
know it used to be a thing when I was in high school. It was like shirts and skins for basketball.
Yeah.
We do smokes and drinks when we play soccer. So some of us have beers and some of us have cigarettes, and you just have to keep it in your hand the whole time. It's good cardio. Don't smoke, kids.
It's creative. Yeah, thank you.
Do not.
Thank you for the PSA.
I quit. It's been great.
Yeah? How long?
Dana's laughing over in the corner.
Yesterday?
It's been, I don't know, every once in a while I'll sneak once. I think I snuck one, a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
instant regret also.
Yeah.
And not a constant, and that's a one-off. Maybe.
It's not an easy thing to do. I quit I
Yeah.
don't know, it's probably been 15 years now.
Congratulations.
But I had a couple, I stumbled
Every
a
once in
few,
a while you jump
a
off
few
the
times,
wagon, but you
along
jump
the way.
back on.
Yeah. Good for you. Well, listen, you're an awesome person. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We're really
Yes.
excited to get a chance to hang out and chat with
The
you.
weather
today,
is beautiful, and
It was, or it is now. It wasn't yesterday.
yeah, no, we've been pretty worried that we weren't going to
Yeah.
get to be with you guys.
Well, we had a lot of people concerned. Hey, is there still going to be a show on Friday?
Calling and asking, yeah.
As long as the bus pulls in,
Exactly.
I'll show up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Ashley McBryde, thank you so much for hanging out.